19 weeks pregnant with spontaneous identical triplet baby boys, and I'm going to tell you the identical part of our story right now. Know that they're identical because they share one placenta and they share one gestational sac. The black part of on the ultrasound that like surrounds your baby, that's their gestational sac. Now they have an amniotic sac too, and that's what we have 3 of. That's what makes our babies mono, tri. Mono, 1 placenta, tri, 3 amniotic sacs. The way we found out that we were having triplets, of course, was dramatic. I don't know how you could find out you're having triplets and it not be dramatic. We were certain that they were fraternal because I'm 35. That's when your chances of multiples go up. I've also been pregnant with fraternal twins before, lost them to miscarriage. I have PCOS. I've dealt with ovarian cyst rupturing. Whoa, what? Triplets? What? That's not possible. But in the back of my head, I was like, well, I guess like some of the things line up. I guess it makes sense. So none of those factors played a part at all. Of course, the way we found out was also dramatic. We had that ultrasound at the ER at 7 weeks because I thought I was miscarrying again. And they say that you're not miscarrying, but there are 3 people in there. Then I have an appointment a few weeks later with my OB. She gets the results from the ER, and so we have a meeting first. And in that meeting, she's like, this is really dangerous. This is really risky. What the ER report said was 3 babies, 1 sac. So what she's thinking is mono, meaning 1 amniotic sac. And if they're all in the same sac, they're identical. And we're like, what? No. Identical, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Ma'am, stop. And then she's like, no, they're definitely identical. There's 3 babies, 1 sac, high risk, really dangerous, but let's go have an ultrasound and see what we see. So we go in, we pray, we cry. It was overwhelming. This is like very scary. There's only a handful of living cases of these kinds of triplets, and they take each other out usually because there's too much happening and they can get tangled up. And well, let's go in for an ultrasound and just check it out and see what we see. Maybe we see dividing membranes. Well, who knows? Maybe. Immediately she starts ultrasound and she's like, never mind, disregard everything I said. I see dividing membrane. To our never had multiple babies' brains, we disregard everything she said. They have their own sac, which means they're not identical, which means we're back to where we were before we walked in this door. That's what we thought. And then a few weeks later, we go to our MFM and they're like, okay, let me tell you the difference between a gestational sac and an amniotic sac. You have 1 placenta. You have 3 amniotic sacs, which is good, really good. But you have 1 gestational sac and 1 placenta. These babies are absolutely identical. We're like, no, they're not. And the doctor was like, yes, they are. It's high risk. That's why I go every single week. They're doing fluid checks because of twin-to-twin transfusion. There's a possibility for one to take too much because they share 1 placenta, and then the other ones obviously aren't getting enough. So we check fluid, we check their measurements, make sure everybody's sharing. And so far, so good. 19 weeks and it hasn't happened yet, and we're praying that it doesn't happen. It's a miracle. It literally doesn't make sense. 1 sperm and 1 egg came together. I think it's called a zygote at this time, then split into 3 people. What?